And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, stay tuned for another original Studio B production right here on the Voice17104.com.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters, to the Richard James Show on 17104, The Voice. Greetings, my friends, and salutations. Welcome to the Richard James Show. It's a good day to be alive. Every day is a good day to be alive. Some of you have possibly missed me the last couple of weeks. I had surgery on my back. I had back surgery. I had been walking with a walker for some time, and I'm trying to get rid of that walker. And I want to let folks know the surgery was extremely successful. I'm getting stronger every day, and I'm looking forward to be able to walk on my own and begin to start doing some things that I hadn't done in a while. But I know some folks that questioned how I was doing and was wondering where I'm at. But that's what it is. We did lift up a couple other programs. Now, you know, I'm heavily into family. I believe in family. I believe in lifting up family and connecting. We've done a number of things on members of my family. The last one we did was on overseer Janet Hopkins Branch, who passed. Now we're going to lift up another family member. Someone you might say, he's a member of your family? The answer is he is. His name is Jackie Roosevelt Robinson. Jackie Roosevelt Robinson. Let me give you a little historical background on Brother Robinson. First of all, there's a myth of people thinking that he was born in California. The truth of the matter is, Jackie Robinson was born in what you call Cairo, Georgia, and we Southerners call Cairo, Georgia, but it's spelled the same way. It's just the way we pronounce it. That's where he was born. And the outside, so we say, one people may call it the rural areas outside of Cairo, which is 13 miles from Thomasville, Georgia. Jackie Robinson is related to my father and my father's family. And that's on his mother's side. Get me now. Jackie's mother is a member of the James family. She's a very, very dear individual. Now, she married Jerry Robinson, and Jerry Robinson was Jackie's father. Now, for some reason, Jerry abandoned the family when they were living in Cairo, Georgia. Left his mother with, I think it was about 4 kids, including Jackie, and just walked away from him. And she was being a sturdy and very strong, very sensitive, and a very caring woman, decided to uproot because she didn't see any opportunities for advancement or doing well in Cairo. We went in the South, and there were limited opportunities, quite frankly. So she took the family and moved to Pasadena, California. I think Jackie was 4 years old when they moved there, and that's where he was raised. Some people have the idea that Jackie was uh, a baseball player, and that was the extent of his athleticism. Now, you're going to learn from these videos that, first of all, Jackie was extremely talented. Some people say that he wasn't the most talented guy to come out of the Negro League. Well, he was one of the most talented, and he could do things that some of the other folks could not do. He was not only a baseball player, but he was even better at football, running back. Jackie was one of the best running backs, broke all kinds of records. Not only was he a good running back, he was a basketball player. And also, he was a track star. He also ran track. Matter of fact, Jackie had a brother named Mac Robinson. Mac Robinson was a superstar. Mac Robinson ran in the 1936 uh, 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 Olympic races in Germany. You remember the one that Adolf Hitler had lift up and said that this Olympics would prove that the Aryan race was a superior race. Well, we know that Jesse Owens came out first, and Matt Robinson was right on his tail, came out second. So Jackie came from an extremely athletic family, and he went on to California and spent his time uh, uh, being educated. I think he graduated from Washington High School, and then he went on to Pasadena Junior College, and from there uh, went to the University of Southern California, and did very well. Was a superstar at the college ranks. There's a lot of things about Jackie that I want to share with you. Um, One reason that I know that he's related to us is that I was at a family reunion, a James family reunion in Thomasville, and there was a young lady who was a doctor named Dr. Walden, who had a Jackie Robinson exhibit at the family reunion. And I went over and talked to her, and she explained to me how Jackie was related to us. She's a member of the family also. Every year, uh, James Jack Hatley uh, sponsored these family reunions. Not so much now. We're all getting older, and we got a lot of other things to do. But through these family reunions, we began to connect with other members of our family and to learn more about who they are and where they came from. And also, I've connected because I've found some of Jackie's relatives that live in Philadelphia. Absolutely, became very, very close to that family. Wonderful people. Uh, I think that they was one of Jackie's father's brothers uh, lived there, and his family, his family, but in Philadelphia. So Jackie Robinson, who is Jackie Robinson? Is he the greatest? He's one of the greatest. And Jackie Robinson contributed greatly to society. And there's a whole image of Jackie Robinson that's out there that's not completely accurate. Um, but let's take a look at these videos. Let's take a look at one of these videos, and uh, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the true character of Jackie Robinson. All right, let's do our first video.
Pleased to have this opportunity to present to you this symbolic baseball honor. Jackie, with congratulations and thanks and all our good wishes.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I would just like to say that I was really just a spoke in the wheel of the success that we had some 25 years ago, and personally want to say thank you to a great captain, a guy who was the leader of our ball club and who really set the pace in many, many areas. Pee Wee, thanks so much for being here today. I would like to also say that I would be a real pleasure if Mr. Rickey could have been here with us today, but to the members of the family, my entire love and gratitude for the things that he's done over the years. And I also want to say how pleased I am that my family can be here this afternoon, and to thank baseball for the tremendous opportunities that it has presented to me, and also for this thrilling afternoon. I'm extremely proud and pleased to be here this afternoon, but must admit I'm going to be tremendously more pleased and more proud when I look at that third base coaching line one day and see a black face managing in baseball. Thank you very much.
When you have a wife, kids, and you want to raise them the right way and do right by them, Jackie's a perfect person to look at. You know, going back to my days at UCLA, I had John Wooden, who to look at, and Jackie Robinson, who are two of the greatest human beings to ever walk this earth. And so Jackie was a person that, as I said before, is understanding that life is bigger than you individually, and how you treat people and needing to treat them fairly, and know when to fight, know when to walk away, know when to be humble, know when to have your ego kind of to the forefront, you know, to believe in what's right.
The influence of Jackie in not only my household, but most African Americans at that time, you know, we were all so proud. And you would go out and try to emulate some of the things that he did, because he was an exciting player at that time, and all that he had gone through, especially as a young African American at that time. You identified with the struggles, but players in general, and the courage that it gave players, and especially African American players coming behind him, the what was needed to say, yes, I can play Major League Baseball, and that door is open. You just have to have the courage to step through.
My real appreciation for Jackie came after I joined the Dodgers in 1969. And of course, the most memorable of all of that was my opportunity to meet Jackie for the first time in 1972, when we retired the first numbers in Dodger history, the numbers of Jackie, Roy Campanella, and Sandy Koufax. So that day in 1972, June in 1972, is a most memorable day in terms of Jackie and really knowing who he was. And there was an incident that forever stayed in my mind. Before the Old Timers game, Jackie was on the field near the Dodger dugout. I was there as we were making plans for the introduction of Jackie and others, and there was a fan in the stands who had a baseball, and he wanted Jackie to sign the ball. And he yelled, "Jackie, Jackie, sign this ball." And he threw the ball. Jackie's vision was so bad at that time, there was no way he could have seen the ball. It hit Jackie on the shoulder and bounced up and hit Jackie on the head. Everyone around Jackie went absolutely wild. Get that guy, throw that guy out of the park. And I'll never forget Jackie's reaction to that. He said, "Calm down. Give me the ball. Give me the ball." They picked the ball up off the ground, gave Jackie the ball, and he said, "Give me a pen." Jackie signed the ball. He said, "Give the ball back to the gentleman." And I thought, and I knew then I had just witnessed, felt, seen the true essence of Jackie Robinson.
We were playing the Martin Luther King game in Dodger Stadium, where some of the greatest players of all time agreed to play in this game to honor Dr. King. And we were out on the field during the introduction at Dodger Stadium, and we all got to meet, or at least say hello to Jackie at that time as he came out. But after the game, I was on a flight going back to I was gonna rejoin the team in New York, and I had taken my seat. All of a sudden, now I see coming down the aisle was Jackie, and Jackie sits down in the aisle seat right across from me. And, you know, I'm, like I said, no ball player had ever made me nervous and everything like that. But now all of a sudden he's right there. My hero is right there. So I felt like a little kid again. So finally, I got up enough courage to reach over and introduce myself to him and said, "Hello, Mr. Robinson. I'm Reggie Smith with the Red Sox." And blah, blah, and before I could finish, he says, "I know who you are, and I know what you represent." And he says, "Just keep doing what you're doing." And he knew me. He knew who I was and everything. And that was a significant moment for me. And he said he knew what I represented and what I stood for. So that was a blessing, I thought, that he was giving me to continue to do the things and fight the good fight.
I think he would be encouraging all of us in a very stern way that we need to get better. There's been some advancements, but there's been some decline as far as Black people in the game. I think overall diversity has trended up. But as far as Black people of color in leadership roles, whether it be field manager, whether it be front office, we can do better because there's a lot of talented people of color out there. So I think he'd be pleased in a lot of ways, but I think he'd be disappointed in some.
Would he be happy to see Dave Roberts managing the Dodgers? Of course he would. But he would recognize that so much more that needed to be done. Because Jackie really was all about, as I saw him and studied him, was all about the future. When his playing career was done, it was done. Jackie didn't come back to Dodger Stadium in an old-timer's uniform. Jackie came back in a shirt and tie with the Dodger jacket that he put on later. He was all about tomorrow. He was really all about helping others.
All right. That gives you some of an overview. And after that presentation, as you saw, a few weeks later, Jackie Robinson passed. So this was in 1972. Jackie had been born in 1919, and he died in 1972 at the tender age of 53 years old. He suffered from diabetes, and sometimes diabetes can be overwhelming and can cause premature death, and this kind of thing. But Jackie had done some really great things. He had moved over into business arena. He had his own construction company, that was building. He also became very, very active uh, in the civil rights movement. Also politically, he became very, very active and very, very outspoken in terms of issues that face African Americans and other people of color. Uh, he also received a Congressional Medal of Honor uh, and various awards for his accomplishments. Uh, One thing I wanted to say is that the whole approach that Jackie used when he became the Rookie of the Year, when he started, I think in 1947, uh, that he didn't overreact to some of the racism and the bigotry uh, coming from fans and other ball players. Uh, it was extremely difficult because he was a fighter. Uh, Jackie did not overreact, and that helped to sustain him. And also, he continued to build and improve on his game. So he was awarded Rookie of the Year the first year he was in baseball. Jackie also receive awards and recognition from organizations like the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, because he would stand up and he would speak out against racism and discrimination. Uh, and they tried to divide and conquer. They tried to put differences between Jackie and other great civil rights leaders, but Jackie would not allow them to do that. Um, we have another video that I'd like you to see to give you a little bit more in the way of his biographical history. Let's take a look at that video.
I'm Mike Wallace. This is Biography. Our story, Jackie Robinson. He was the first Negro to play Major League Baseball. An aggressive competitor, he asked no quarter and gave none. But he won the admiration of players and fans alike with his skill and daring. From the very first, he made it clear that he wanted to be accepted on the basis of his ability. I came here, he said, to play baseball. On April 15, 1947, at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, Jackie Robinson makes his first appearance as a Major League Baseball player and shatters a half-century of tradition. In the coming months and years, his courage and his character will be severely tested. Jackie Robinson is uniquely prepared to meet this challenge. Born in 1919 on a cotton plantation near the town of Cairo, Georgia, Jackie Robinson is 6 months old when his father deserts the family. Mallie Robinson and her 5 children are forced to leave the one-room cabin on the plantation. The family sets out on a long journey in search of a new home. The trip ends in Pasadena, California, where Mallie Robinson's brother has found a place for them to live.
My mother had a strong sense of dignity and pride. She tried to teach all of us to stand up for what we believed. It wasn't easy at first. We were the only Negro family in the neighborhood. The only playmates I had were my brothers and sister. I went to school with my older sister, Willa Mae, when my mother worked. I was too young to go to classes, so I waited outside. I learned to get along on my own, to make up my own games, and I played them by my own rules. It seemed to me I always wanted something, and I couldn't have it. The best I could do for a baseball was a wad of rags, and I used to think if I ever could hold a real baseball, my life would be complete. I had to be a little bit better, or I couldn't get to play. I wanted to win, all kids do, but it meant a little bit more to me. Winning somehow took the sting out of being the outsider. My brother Mac was the star of the school's track team. When he was picked for the United States Olympic team in 1936, I was the proudest kid in the block.
The 1936 Olympic Games are held in Nazi Germany. Boasts Adolf Hitler. The pure-blooded Nazi Aryan will prove his supremacy in this arena. The competition does produce a Superman, but he is neither Aryan nor Nazi. He is America's great Jesse Owens. Mac Robinson is proud to play second to Owens in the 200-meter dash. Mac set the example for me, says Jackie, And at Pasadena City College, he drives himself relentlessly in practice and competition. In 1938, he breaks Mac's record in the broad jump, establishing a new mark for himself. Jackie enrolls at UCLA in 1939. He has a vague idea that he wants to become a high school athletic coach, but his future plans are hazy, still uncertain. Football is the major sport at UCLA, and Jackie quickly becomes a mainstay of the team. He was a take-charge guy who hated to lose as a friend, and you could be sure that big number 28 would always be in the thick of the action. He is the leading ground gainer in collegiate football in his first season, averaging 12 yards per carry. And newspapermen call Jackie the Gridiron Phantom. Jackie sees each game as a personal battle in which he must prove he's better than any man on the field. In one game against Stanford, he makes a spectacular punt return, although to begin with, he's surrounded by a host of Stanford players. Jackie stars in baseball, basketball, and he wins the national championship in the broad jump. In his senior year, he is called the best all-round athlete in America, the greatest Negro athlete of all time. Unquestionably, writes one reporter, he is the Jim Thorpe of his race. Jackie serves as an Army officer during World War II and returns home in 1945 to face an uncertain future.
I tried to get a job as a high school coach, but there were few openings I could fill. I was 26 years old. I had no job, only a mantle full of trophies.
He is an extraordinary athlete, and he longs to play professional baseball. But by gentlemen's agreement, no Negro is given the opportunity to play in the major leagues. Baseball booms in the post-war era. Fans flock to the ballparks as familiar stars return from military service. Men like Stan Musial, Ted Williams, and Joe DiMaggio. Negroes have the chance to play baseball for pay only in a segregated league. Robinson is delighted when the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro American League offer him $400 a month to play ball. The pay is irregular, crowds are small, and playing conditions are poor. But Jackie Robinson is doing what he likes best. Campaigning for re-election in New York, Governor Tom Dewey begins a movement to wipe out racial restrictions in baseball. Most major league teams resist Dewey's suggestions. One man, however, Branch Rickey, secretly makes plans to break baseball's color line. The dynamic, outspoken general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers sees the Negro athlete as an untapped reservoir of talent. And as his Dodgers begin their training at Bear Mountain, he is already scouting Negro players. But Rickey knows that the first Negro to play Major League Baseball must be able to endure constant threats of physical violence, racial insults, even hostility from teammates. Rickey narrows his choice to a handful of men. He considers the brilliant but erratic Satchel Paige, in his 40s and still pitching. The powerful, placid Roy Campanella. Don Newcomb, fiery young pitcher. And an infielder named Jackie Robinson. Rickey feels Robinson has intelligence, ability, courage. But he must be sure he is the right man. Robinson is summoned to his office for an interview. Branch Rickey tells about that first meeting.
He was everything that I had hoped he would be at that moment. The surprise of that whole occasion was Robinson. I couldn't convince him that I was giving him this interview and considering him for a job on the hit team, the Brooklyn Dodgers. I had to give him an actual picture, by voice, by gesture, but by every means I had, to have him realize what he was in front of and what he was about to agree to. He had to know that he would be called these names and his mother would be attacked, and his ancestry, as I put it. Well, I asked him what he would do. I'd kill him. It was the very resentment that I wanted, and yet he had to realize that he must be able to handle himself under those dire conditions. And there was finally an agreement that for 3 years he would undertake to turn the other cheek, and we defined what that meant in actual field play.
Under Ricky's orders, Jackie will be forced to restrain his desire to fight back when he's insulted or threatened with physical violence. Robinson agrees and signs his contract with a mixture of exultation and apprehension. 1946, the Montreal Royals, a Brooklyn Dodger farm team, open the season at Jersey City. On their playing roster is baseball's most controversial new figure, Jackie Robinson. Spring training has been a harrowing experience for Robinson. During the barnstorming tour in the South, he has been reviled by fans and shunned by his own teammates. But in the season ahead, he will channel his anger and humiliation into a driving determination that will become the trademark of Jackie Robinson. In 1947, the Brooklyn Dodgers and Montreal Royals begin spring training in Panama. Largely because of Robinson, Branch Rickey has been forced to move his teams out of the traditional training grounds in the South. Robinson knows there is resistance against him. Dodger players have signed a petition protesting his appearance on the field.
The challenge of acceptance by his teammates, that was the first hurdle that had to be made. And there was the petition on the club. We've never advertised that. Dixie Walker, an eminent gentleman, and Stanky, a Mobile boy, and they were opposed to it. Tremendous opposition to it at the time. I didn't decide to put him on the Brooklyn Club until the Saturday before the opening on Tuesday of the National League season.
That first day, I tried to tell myself it was just another game. I tried to blot out the sounds and the excitement, but I couldn't do it. There was so much riding on this game, not only for me, but for Mr. Rickey. I could see Mr. Rickey catching every ball with me. He kept urging me to be more aggressive. He was such an inspiration to me. I know I couldn't have made it without him.
Jackie Robinson proves he can hold his own on the playing field, but he is still the outcast, forced to live in separate hotels. He has no roommates and is known as the loneliest man in baseball. Forced to turn the other cheek, he must let his baseball ability speak for him. Slowly, the fans from Flatbush begin to accept Jackie Robinson, and so do his teammates. Says Branch Rickey, the players rallied to his defense, and it caused the glue on the club that molded them into a pennant-winning team. For the Brooklyn Dodgers, it's the first pennant in 6 years. Brooklyn fans shower their affection on the beloved bum. Jackie Robinson crowns his first season in the major leagues by being named Rookie of the Year. Branch Rickey couldn't ask for anything more. The season has been exhausting. Though he is the first Negro to play in Major League Baseball, Robinson has earned just $5,000. To supplement his income, he sells home appliances. As a national sports figure, Jackie has taken it upon himself to shoulder a further responsibility.
The brotherhood movement is gaining ground every day. It is slowly and surely becoming a fact and not remaining just a theory. And I'm glad that I can report from my own personal experiences on the baseball diamond that the feeling of intolerance no longer exists.
By 1949, Robinson has paved the way for others to follow. Men like catcher Roy Campanella and pitcher Don Newcomb. The Negro's position in baseball is secure. Branch Rickey removes all restrictions, and 1949 is Robinson's year. It better be rough on me, Jackie declares, because I'm going to be rough on them. Almost overnight, Jackie becomes the holler guy, the spark plug behind Brooklyn victory. July 1949. Jackie Robinson is unexpectedly cast into the political spotlight. With his wife Ray by his side, a mature and confident Jackie Robinson testifies before the House Un-American Activities Committee.
I've been asked to express my views on Paul Robeson's statement in Paris to the effect that American Negroes would refuse to fight in any war against Russia because we love Russia so much. I haven't any comment to make except that in any event of war with Russia, Negroes and Italians and Irish and Jews and Swedes and Slavs and other Americans would act just as all these groups did in the last war. They'd do their best to keep their country out of war. If unsuccessful, they'd do their best to help their country win the war against Russia or any other enemy that threatened us.
The 1950s. In his new home in suburban Stamford, Connecticut, Jackie savors the rewards of years of struggle. He is an established major league star, earning a major league salary in 5 figures. In the off-season, he can relax with his family, enjoying economic security he never knew in childhood. And for his son, there will be no need to play baseball with broom handles and rags. Jackie is imbued with a nagging sense of responsibility. He feels he must speak out where injustice has been done. His friend and teammate, Roy Campanella, often disagrees with Jackie. "I'm no crusader," says Campanella. "I'm just a baseball player." Robinson will not tolerate this attitude. He has always been a fighter. He will continue to be a fighter. A man must speak out for what he believes, says Jackie. Robinson is now more than a ball player. He is, by circumstance, a representative of his race.
We were put through the usual bag of tricks right in this state. At first, we were told that the house we were interested in had been sold just before we inquired. Or we would be invited to make an offer, a sort of a seal bid, and then we'd be told that the offers higher than ours had been turned down. Then we tried buying houses on the spot for whatever price was asked. They handled this by telling us the house had been taken off the market. And once we met a broker who told us he would like to help us find a home, but his clients were against selling to Negroes. And whether or not we got a story with the refusal, the results were always the same.
He is praised for his explosive play in the field, but is sometimes criticized for deliberately engaging in controversy. Jackie is a guy who likes to mouth off, many say. He's a troublemaker. And Jackie himself admits, "My temper cost me my popularity." 1955, Jackie Robinson is 36. He is the elder statesman of the Dodgers. He occupies the center locker, a special mark of distinction. 9 hectic years in the majors have been filled with controversy. In the twilight of his baseball career, reporters call him the old gray fat man. His legs lack speed, agility. His reflexes are sluggish. The Dodgers, however, clinched the National League pennant late in September. Once more, they will face the Yankees in the World Series. For Jackie Robinson, there may not be another. Since 1947, the Dodgers have won the pennant 4 times. And 4 times they have lost to the New York Yankees in the World Series. The experts predict the Dodgers will be beaten for the 5th consecutive time. The Dodgers are an old team, they say, virtually unchanged since 1947. Even the most loyal Dodger rooters are skeptical. But in this World Series, the 36-year-old Jackie Robinson flashes the daring and speed that recalls the Robbie of old. Sparked by Robinson, the Dodgers win the 1955 World Series. Writes one reporter, the old gray fat man had done what he wanted. He had shown the Dodgers, he had shown the Yankees, he had shown the world. By the end of 1956, after a furious decade in baseball, Jackie Robinson has decided to retire.
I had decided that I'd used up the good years. I didn't want to work out the string as a pinch hitter or a part-time player. Most of all, I wanted security for my family. I had considered the possibility of becoming a manager, but when the president of Chock-full of Nuts, Mr. William Black, offered me a job as vice president in charge of personnel, I was so impressed by the man and the company that I decided to start my new career here. What appealed to me most was that I wasn't being hired in order to have my name adorn a letterhead, but I was being asked to join the company and become an integral part of the organization. The job was and still is a challenge, but that's the way I like it. Generally, I meet with Mr. Black to go over new employee programs, brief him on my activities, and discuss new company policies, or to get an occasional bawling out. I rarely miss baseball. I just don't have the time to miss it. But if I did, it would be the playing. I never felt comfortable as a spectator. Looking back now on my days in baseball, I can remember times when I was advised not to press issues or speak out when I felt it was necessary. But I couldn't do that. I believe that a man is judged on more than the power of his hands and legs. He's judged also on the strength of his mind and his character. Not to speak out when I saw or felt an injustice would have been as bad as taking the third strike every time I came to bat. Right now, if I had the chance to live my life over again, I'd live it the same way.
Jackie Robinson, a wonderful human being and one of the greatest African-American leaders this country has seen. The depiction of Jackie Robinson as being docile and not fighting, but fighting back, kind of reacting to what Branch Rickey wanted in terms of his first year in the game, in the game, was not the true Jackie Robinson. Let's go back. First of all, when Jackie Robinson graduated from college and was not able to find the kind of job that he wanted to, he went into the service. He became a second lieutenant and served well, did a good job. But however, there was an incident in which Jackie Robinson had gotten on a bus and was told to sit in the back of the bus, and he refused to do so. So they had called the police to force him off of the bus, and as a result of that, complaints were filed against Jackie Robinson, and he was tried for this particular incident, and it was decided that he would leave the service, but he was not thrown out. He was not given a dishonorable discharge. He got an honorable discharge, but it was Jackie's nature to fight back. Uh, Critically important that the only way that our people or any people can get any gains is by standing up for themselves and not beholding to the racism that's there. There were other incidents, other times in which they tried to box Jackie in. Let's go back to this testimony before Congress, in which they wanted him, and I think it was the House on Un-American Activities, a very racist structured group, and they wanted him to attack Paul Robeson. What he essentially said is that we are patriots and we're Americans too, and that if there was any type of attack uh, against this country by Russia or by any other country, that all of the ethnic groups, including African Americans, would fight to preserve the freedom, justice, and equality uh, in America, that they would stand up and they would fight back. And not so much uh, Paul Robeson loved Russia so much as Paul Robeson attacked the racism and discrimination within the country. And it's my understanding that they communicated and they communicated well. And there were times when other individuals would try to be critical of Jackie Robinson because of the stand that he took. But one organization that stood up for him that was created in 1909 uh, was the NAACP, or the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And they continued to support Jackie Robinson. We know Jackie Robinson was born in 1919 in Pasadena, in 1972. But during that history, they knew that one of the persons that was on the front line seeking justice and equality was Jackie Robinson. And he stood up, and he stood up well, and he stood up strong. Historically, tracing the steps. Again, let me repeat. Jackie Robinson was born on the outskirts of Cairo, Georgia. Cairo is 13 miles, 13 miles from Thomasville, Georgia. This area here in Thomas County and in Cairo is where the majority of the James family had settled down and dug in their roots. Jerry Robinson and Mally Robinson were the parents of Jackie Robinson, and they gave birth to Jackie and five kids. Now it's understood, nobody goes into any detail, but when Jackie was very young, his father left the family, and so the mother was left with the responsibility to raise and to take care of and to feed all of these kids, and it was he felt that she could do that better if she could relocate and go somewhere else. So when Jackie was very, very young, uh, his mother took the family and moved in search for a place where she could raise these kids and give them the kind of life that she wanted them to have. And she wound up in Pasadena, California. So there's where Jackie grew up. Jackie graduated from Washington High School. Then he went on to Pasadena Junior College, and he became really a super athlete. And I said that earlier. Understand that Jackie was not just a baseball player. And I don't even know if baseball was his favorite game. I know he did well with it. But he was a running back. He was a football player. He was a track star. Jackie was a basketball player, and everything that man put his hands on, every sport that he got involved, he was the best. He was top of his game, and did a great job. But during that period of time, uh, they had to fight through racism and discrimination because, believe it or not, this country, uh, which condoned and set up and established and maintained slavery, also maintained racism and discrimination. During this particular period of time, when Jackie was growing up, lynchings were commonplace. They would hang blacks, particularly those who would stood up. Uh, and then there were lies that were perpetuated. Some black men lost their lives over being accused of attacking white women, which things that never happened. That constantly happened where black men were hung, this kind of thing. And black women were hung and treated with racism. And some people dedicated their lives, um, along with Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, to bringing a change or to continue to confront the racism and bigotry that that was the way of life in this country. Uh, I'm assuming that if Jackie Robinson was alive today and seeing some of the bigotry that is rising, I don't think it's getting better. I think it's getting worse. Then I'm sure he would stand for truth, justice, and the and equality. And if that meant that he had to challenge the status quo, if he had to challenge the way folks do things, because racism and discrimination is institutionalized. It is embedded in the way we do things. The very systems that we employ are racist. And what we had to do is to try to set up systems within systems to bring about change. And that's why uh, we had an equal opportunity or affirmative action program. Equal opportunity and affirmative action program. Those kinds of tools are the kinds of things that Jackie Robinson would support. Uh, I spent my history establishing, planning, designing, running equal opportunity program. And when I look back at my cousin and my roots, look at my genealogy to see that my father, my grandfather, and people like Jackie who were part of the extended family did the same thing. And I was blessed, in terms of my history, not to get off on what I did, but I was blessed to be part of an administration, the Casey administration, uh, Robert P. Casey Sr., who was the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, who believed very, very strongly in equal opportunity program. And we were able to establish a record that had not been seen before or since in state government in terms of raising the percentage of African Americans in government. And it was because we had people like Jackie Robinson. We stood on the shoulders of our ancestors that paved the way. That's like the gentleman said that when Jackie stood and looked racism and bigotry in the eye and said, "I'm not gonna let nobody turn me around. Turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up Freedom's Highway." So because he stood strong, he set an example for others to follow. It was in the genes. And the kind of attitude that he had and things he did, I saw it in my dad. My dad was the same kind of guy, and he instilled it in me. And Jackie and he were cousins. That's a fact. That's not a conjecture. It's not a guess. It's a fact. They were members of the same family. And the James family were fighters. They were fighters, and they would stand strong against bigotry. I know in one incident with my grandfather, who established a farm on the Hall Road in Thomasville, Georgia, and had his own plantation of sorts. He had hundreds of acres of land, and they were once attacked by the Ku Klux Klan. And my grandfather, organized resistance to the Klan. He had to leave Thomasville area. I don't know if that was a part, but I kind of suspect that it might have been, and go to another area, to the city of Detroit, where he later expired. But at any rate, Jackie Robinson uh, had to deal with things. I understand he lived in Brooklyn, New York, area where he played. Also, at some point, had moved to Queens and established a home there. Finally, got the resources that he needed to take care of his family. And I have to speak also strongly of Jackie's wife, Rachel. I think she was a wonderful woman, and she's still alive. I understand she's about in her late 90s, close to 100 years old. But she stood alongside her husband. Uh, the things that he lifted up and then he tried to do, she was right with him. And there's some videos and some interviews of Rachel Washington talking about the kind of person, and she loved this man. I mean, she made no joke about it. She loved him and she supported him and she respected the kind of person that he was. And so she was his soulmate, and she was with him to the bitter end, and afterwards, because she continued even after the passing of her beloved husband, continued to stand up and fight for the kinds of things that Jackie stood up and considered to fight. If you talk to her now, she's very lucid, very bright, very intelligent, and she will say the same things that she said all along. Wonderful woman, beautiful, beautiful woman, both inside and outside. Really, really intelligent and very capable. If you get a chance, go online and take a look at some of the videos that are outstanding about Jackie Robinson and read whatever you can about it. I think you will be impressed. I think you will really, really, really find that there are blessings in reading because of the kind of journey that this man uh, led, the kind of things that he did, and they supported. Uh, well, folks, it's good to be back. Uh, Good to be back on the air and making presentations. We got some wonderful shows uh, that we're going to have in the next couple of weeks. I'm still in the healing process. I'm not quite there yet, but it's going along well. And to my friends and associates, the stories of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. Richard James is a fighter, and he intends to completely be healed and come back. We still have uh, the Lebanon Valley Farmers Market. We still have a show, and here's some pictures here of our old and our pictures and our giraffes. And go down, really. My daughter Maria is handling the shop while I'm in the healing. There's some of our African clothing and cats and stuff, and we would appreciate you. Look at some of our things, and we have drums. We got a whole new supply of drums in, and we got some masks in that are absolutely outstanding. So if you get a chance to go down, so Maria's handling the stand for me, and I really, really appreciate it. She's a wonderful lady. Got a lot more personality than her dad. She's a beautiful human being. She's a poet, and she too got that gene in terms of standing up for what she believes in. And she's a fighter. She believes in equal opportunity for all people, including women, standing up strong. And she got some things going on in September. She got a collective where she's trying to put together some plays and some presentations, and she got a new book that's coming out. So look for her new books. She's probably several different books. I mean, she got a new one that's coming out. Maria the poet again. Yes, indeed. So really, really take a look at what she's doing, and go down to Lebanon Valley Farmers Market and support us. We're trying to do the things right. We try to also be supportive of other people. There's a picture. Harris reclaiming our crown in Harrisburg. That's Maria James. That's my daughter. So thank you so much for tuning in. And we're gonna. By the way, I'm working on my memoirs. I think it's about time. Like they said, we're coming to the journey's. Maybe I don't know about the journey's end, but we're getting in the twilight zone. So I am in the process of writing my memoirs, and because I've had a long journey, and God knows it's been a fight, but it's been a blessed journey also. And I'm pleased to have a wonderful family that's very, very supportive and stand tall and stand behind me. So I want to say to you again that I am very pleased to be back. I'm very pleased that you're still with me and you're coming and you're tuning in. And there's more to come. We're going to be lifting up at some point some historical figures in the city of Harrisburg. But right now, we're trying to outline a program with Bobby Fulton, who was the founder of Soulville Records. And at some point, Bobby's going to be lifted out. He'll be coming on the air. And I'm also reaching out to my cousin, who's a humanitarian communicator, Derek James. We hope we can get him on pretty soon. So God bless you all, and may heaven smile upon you and be gracious unto thee. So long, till I'll see you next week. And thanks again, Chris Thomas and the Thomas family for lifting up the voice and giving us an opportunity and a stage to be able to do that. We really appreciate it, man. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your wonderful family. Take care. So long. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for tuning in to the Richard James Show. Our African and our African American programs are set up to educate you on what's going on in this world. We thank you for taking out the time. So listen, let us hear from you sometime also. So this is your neighbor and your friend signing off. Until I see you again next week and hear from you again next week. So long. God bless.